Thor spends a night with this woman, and the next morning he says, I have to tell you who I am. You know, I'm Thor. She says, you're Thor, I can hardly walk.
Before Chris Hemsworth would pick up the hammer and take on the role of Thor in the 2011 movie. Before he would be the winner of several awards, including the Teen Choice Awards, People's Choice Awards, and MTV Movie Awards.
Chris Hemsworth!
Before Hemsworth became involved with Australian Childhood Foundation standing for children from abusive and neglected families.
And help children have the childhood they deserve.
Before he be selected by Cosmo magazine as one of 2011's most fun, fearless men.
Is that right? You don't have to pay for parking?
No, you just drive straight in, just park in front of other cars if you want.
Chris Hemsworth was born in Australia in 1983 to an English teacher mother and a social services father. He spent a lot of his childhood growing up in the Australian outback with no TV to keep him and his brothers entertained. He developed a love for storytelling and acting because of this, and after school went on to pursue an acting career. He took on a number of small roles and then had his breakthrough in 2004 on the soap opera Home and Away. But it wasn't until 2011 that he was tossed into the spotlight, taking on the role of the Norse god Thor. Hey everyone, I'm Azzy, documenting the life of Chris Hemsworth, here for you on Before They're Famous. As always, be sure to let us know in the comment section below who to document next. And if you want to see more of me, you can check me out on my personal YouTube channel, Azzyland. On August 11, 1983, Chris Hemsworth was born in Melbourne, Australia. His mother, Leonie Van Oss, was an English teacher, and his father, Craig Hemsworth, was a social service counselor, which may have influenced Chris's future charity work for abused children. Although he's Australian, his ethnicity is quite mixed, and he comes from Dutch, English, Scottish, and Irish descent. He also has two brothers, an older brother named Luke and a younger brother named Liam, both of which had become actors. Chris's childhood nickname was Kip, because when he was young, he couldn't say his own name, and it came out as Kip. How adorable is that? Chris got a chance to see a wide range of Australia, as his family lived in Melbourne for a while before moving to Northern Territory and living at a cattle station in an Aboriginal community. His earliest and most vivid childhood memories are that of buffaloes and crocodiles. While in the Northern Territory, his family didn't have a TV and the kids were forced to use their imagination to entertain themselves. I know, this sounds horrible, right? The brothers would read a lot of books and all became fond of storytelling, which ultimately led them all to developing a love for acting. Chris also grew up having a love for surfing and a love for football. He thought maybe one day to pursue a career in football, but a shoulder injury ended up pushing him onto the path of acting instead. After some part-time jobs that included agricultural labor, surf shop associate, bartending, and construction, where he probably first learned how to handle a hammer, he decided to pursue a career in acting. He managed to snag roles in 2002 on 2 episodes of Guinevere Jones, 1 episode of Martial Law, and a small role appearance on the soap opera Neighbours, which his brothers also appeared in. In 2004, he auditioned for the role of Robbie Hunter in the Australian soap opera Home and Away, a show that featured the likes of Isla Fisher, Heath Ledger, and Naomi Watts. He was turned down for the role, but instead of saying, "see you later," the casting directors offered him another role as Kim Hyde.
At the gym, is everything alright?
Oh, no, it's all good. I mean,
Chris packed up and moved to Sydney to be featured on 171 episodes of Home and Away, which can be considered his true acting debut. Because of his newfound popularity, he was invited to be on Dancing with the Stars Australia in 2006, and even made it to week 6 before being eliminated.
Like 7 inches from the midday sun.
As soon as he moved in, he was almost immediately given the role of James T. Kirk's father, George Kirk, in the opening scene of 2009 film Star Trek. Not only did his talent agent William Ward help him score all his roles, but he also helped Chris score his future wife, Spanish actress Hela Patique. The two shared the same talent reps and eventually got married in 2010. After this, he suffered 8 months of unemployment, not being able to land any roles. I know that's hard to believe considering how good looking and talented he is. Finally, he found work in the form of a role in 2012's Cabin in the Woods as the character Kurt Vaughn. The movie was produced and co-written by Joss Whedon, who would later be a director on The Avengers. It was Whedon who encouraged Chris to audition for the part in Thor while still working on Cabin in the Woods. Chris went up against some heavy competition, including his very own brother Liam.
My brother had, it was testing for it. I was like, that's it,
Originally, he wasn't even shortlisted for the role, but the casting directors went back and revisited his audition and decided to give him another shot. He spent many hours practicing his lines with his mother, and it all paid off when he was offered the role. But he had a bit of work to do and he had to bulk up. He gained around 20 pounds of muscle in a surprisingly short amount of time. So surprising that the costume wasn't made big enough for him, because no one was expecting him to bulk up that much. And when he tried it on for the first time, it cut off the circulation to his hands.
It's over.
No, it's not over.
Just a small bump in the road, because Thor was a major box office hit and eventually catapulted Chris Hemsworth into Hollywood spotlight. And the rest of the story, well, you guys know the story because this is before they were famous. Awesome guys, thank you so much for watching. We do a ton of other biographies here. We do actors, we've done models, rappers, we've done YouTubers. Be sure to check them out. We've also done Tom Hiddleston, which is the Loki to Thor, so check him out. Oh yeah, we also do Before They're Fiction, where we do like fictional characters. It's kind of like Before They're Famous. And also check out my channel, Azzyland. Bye guys!